Welcome to lesson 94, box plots. Here's another skill that we're advancing from when we were in earlier middle school to now an Algebra 1 student. So we are going to accurately create box plots, and you're going to see me do this both manually as well as using a graphing calculator. But I'm going to do manual first, and then I'll use a calculator with all the exact buttons so you can see how you'll navigate from there. You do need at least 5 values in order to do a box plot, because you need your minimum to get your Q1, a median, a Q3, and your maximum, which would be your Q4. And the second part of our CFS is to accurately analyze that box plot, pretty much figure out what is this telling us, what do the whiskers actually tell us about the data and the spread of the data, as well as our quartiles. So I'm going to start a little bit more on just the high-level manual part. Just think of it as 4 quarters in a game. So if you play a game like basketball where there are 4 quarters, the entire 48 minutes is broken up into 4 sets of 12. That's pretty much what the data in a box plot is. It's taking all the data from least to greatest, folding it in half, and then folding your halves again. And that way we start at our zero, well, I don't call it our zero, but this is our minimum value, our lowest. And then our first quarter is Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4, which is also our maximum. And this pretty much represents the quarters of your data. So here's 25% of your data, 25%, 25%, and 25% of your data. All right, so that's how it's pretty much organized, and you can see it. And what we like to look at is obviously the middle of our data, the middle concentration part, and we look to see like how far away, how spread out things are. Do we have a big range here where although it's the same quarter of our data, is it really spread out? Is it really small and tight together? These are all the things we look at when we look at the distances between the quartiles. But let's just jump in. And again, I'm going to start manually, and then I'll go into how to do it with a calculator. Since it's been some time since you've probably drawn box plots since middle school, I'm going to very quickly just show you the steps. So I have a sequence of data, and the first thing I need are these 5 values: the minimum, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the maximum. So to get that, I'm going to have to order my data from least to greatest. The easiest data points to then find will be my minimum and my maximum. And these two will represent my data at the end of the whiskers. So there it is. There's my range from 66 to 95. Then I have to find my middle number. Now, because I have 12 numbers here, I'm actually going to cut this right in half. So there are 6 numbers on the left and 6 numbers on the right. And these 2 numbers in the middle would represent my median. Because my median is still just 85, I don't have to find the average of 85 and 85. I know it's just 85. So I'm going to make that my line here. Okay, so that's what we have so far. You have your minimum, your maximum, and your median. So now I need to find the middle of the middle. So I'm looking at my very first section, this part over here, and I'm trying to identify what number would be in the middle. And there are 2 numbers that go in the middle from 66 to that 85. And that would be 72, 73. So I am going to find the mean of both of these 2 numbers, and I get 72.5. So this is my Q1. It's about here. And then I find the middle of the second half. So again, going from 85 to 95, which number is in my middle? And I still have 2 numbers. So my Q3, the average of these 2 numbers would be 90. Now, if I'm doing this pretty quickly, but I will tell you when I did it by hand, it took a lot longer for me to do. So that's just me being transparent that this does take time, because I had to put things in order, find which one was the middle. I made mistakes sometimes, missing numbers. So those are all the things that just take up more time. But once you have those 5 values, you can very quickly draw your box plot. Okay, so let's hit pause, and don't even jot this one down yet. I want you to see how much more quickly I can do this using a tool. All right, Math Marbles, now I'm going to actually show you how to do this using a graphing calculator. It's going to be way more efficient and quick. And notice I'm just going to this website, testnav.com. It is free. You can click on, and actually I'll show you in another video how to access this calculator, but it's cool. So I'm going to have it right here next to our numbers so we can see them. All right, so just starting off, I'm just going to hit STAT, which is right over here, and hit 1 for enter. And I've already entered in on L1 all the data from our list. So literally I just typed it in, typed it all the way down. I didn't have to reorder it or anything. So to construct our box plot, here are the steps you're gonna have to do. And I'm gonna write them here on the side. We're gonna hit second and y equals. So second, y equals. Then you're gonna hit plot 1. And I'm on plot 1, enter. Make sure that it is on, which it is. So yours it's going to start it off, so make sure you hit it to on. You're going to go down, and you're going to choose that box plot. And I'm going to tell you, I want the 4th one. This is the one I want. Make sure that it is on L1 and frequency 1. So mine is, so we're good. So now here's the next part. You're gonna hit zoom, and you're gonna go to zoom stat. So I'm gonna put this in here so just so you have the notes. Zoom stat, so I'm gonna go to 9th one and hit enter. And boom, there you have it. You will see your histogram. Now, for you to get the numbers you want, and these are the ones that you really, really need, you want to make sure you have your minimum, Q1, Q2, Q3, and your max. So you're going to hit trace. And now with trace, I can move and I can see all the numbers that I want. So 66 for my minimum, 72.5 for Q1, 85 Q3, I'm sorry, that was Q2, 90 for Q3, and my maximum is 95. And now that I have that, I can go right back and look at how quickly I can make this box plot compared to before. Because now I have my maximum, my minimum, 72 and 90. I have these other quartiles, and I have my middle, 85. And that's it. See how much easier that was when I used all the numbers? That's why we want to use this technology. So I'm going to hit pause so you can just make sure you have all these steps. And remember, I used the trace feature to find all the actual values that I needed and jotted them down into my notes. All right, let's jump into some guided practice. Here you go. The students in Miss Glenn's math class earned the following grades. Which box and whisker plot represents these data? Hit pause, and you can either manually find the answer, or you can pick out your TI-84s virtually to solve this as well. All right, you're going to do the reveal for this one now, and the correct answer was 4. So again, there are 2 approaches I can see for this. One is you can just manually see, can I eliminate anything? And knowing that this was already ordered in order, my minimum was going to be 65 and my maximum 95. So that automatically eliminated the first 2 because this was not the minimum. And since the rest of them looked, I was between 2 and 4, you could have taken out your TI-84s, and once you had entered all of those in, you would have gotten those 5 numbers. So you would have gotten your 65 for your minimum, your Q1 70, your Q2 would have been 82, Q3 90, whoops, let me write that up there next to it, and your Q4 would have been 95. Now again, if you do not remember the steps, you can go back to what we did earlier in the video, so you can just follow along. and actually see how I'm working on the TI-84 to graph a box plot. That's it for today's lesson, Math Marbles. Get some practice in. If you want to work on it manually and then confirm it with a calculator, you can. It's always great practice. But if you are doing a test or an exam and time is of the essence, then I would make sure you know how to actually enter in the data to graph it on the calculator. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Be well.